Hello my friends and welcome back to another Brotato Danger 5 challenge run. Hope you're all doing well. Today we're going to be maxing out our range. So this one goes out to all the people who always tell me I need to buy range more. We're going to be playing the Speedy and we'll be using the hiking pole, which gains range based on our movement speed. So it's going to increase the range of this weapon significantly. And in order to make the run more challenging, we're going to be adding the rule that every single time I see a range upgrade, I have to buy it. So no matter what it is, or if there's anything better in the level up screen or the shop, we have to buy every range upgrade that we see. Now this could, of course you could do this challenge more easily on the Hunter, which gains extra stats from range, but I think this is a more fun and interesting way of doing it. You can see there we got our first point of range from our hiking pole. So we're just gonna see how long we can make our poles, as it were. Here I'm going to reroll. I could pick up some harvesting or regen. It is a little dangerous to reroll in these opening shops as well, because if I find range, I have to pick it. We'll lock the lumberjack shirt. I'm going to ban claw tree. All our base damage on our hiking poles is going to be coming from increasing our range, so no particular need to buy melee damage. We'll buy hiking pole, we'll ban butterfly, and we'll roll, and we'll lock a hiking pole, and we'll just go ahead and ban a pencil. I want to ban mostly from level 1, because there's a lot of good upgrades that we can get, and also it's going to make glasses and gummy berserkers more likely to appear so that we can increase our range even further. Also, move speed items are pretty good for us since they work really well with the hiking pole. One thing that is interesting is often on the Speedy, you're incentivized to cap your movement speed, but because we're using hiking pole, we don't want to do that because we actually need to move at that speed rather than just have the speed stat, because normally on the Speedy you get melee damage from every 2% speed, and that's based on the number listed here. It doesn't matter if it's capped. So if you buy the item that caps your speed, you can still buy melee damage by increasing your speed further and not end up going so fast that it gets really hard to dodge. But for hiking pole, we have to actually move that amount of distance, so we can't cap our movement speed. Be locking that item there, and then rolling. I'm also guaranteed to miss some range upgrades or miss some items with range on them, because it's a stat you can usually ignore whether it's on an item at all. So I apologize in advance for messing up the challenge whenever I do. I'll be doing my best. Good so far. All right, so we'll take the black belt here. Losing luck is bad, but the XP gain is going to be really good. There's no range upgrade in this shop, so we'll take 2 armor. Here, I think we can do better. I have to take the 15 range, so we're going to pick that up. We'll buy the hiking pole, and then we'll buy this entire shop and roll. Plant and corrupted shard are both pretty nice. I'll buy the corrupted shard first. Baby elephant, I just don't think we're going to be doing non-weapon sources of damage on this character, so I'm going to go ahead and ban the baby elephant, and then we will lock another hiking pole. I really want to upgrade these so they can start scaling my range faster and increasing their base damage faster. So getting the weapon levels is really important. One thing we are going to need is a lot of attack speed. We move really fast, which means that we're going to move into enemies a lot faster than most characters would. So we need the attack speed to make sure we can kill them as we approach them. And then also, with melee weapons, increasing your range very, very slightly decreases your attack speed. Mostly you can, because of the animation time, mostly you can ignore that effect. It is extremely minimal, so the game tells you about it, and I think that actually confuses a lot of players, because they think, okay, I want to avoid range on melee weapons, but you can ignore that effect completely. But when you're building a ton of range, then it can start to have an actual effect. Okay, great. We get a 9 HP upgrade without having to buy a range upgrade, so that's good. We did want more HP. Losing 6 range on the beanie I think is fine here. Yes, we lose 6 range. It's going to decrease the damage of our weapons and stuff, but the 4 move speed with the hiking pole is going to be good enough to give that back to us very quickly. And then we'll roll here. We'll buy a beanie. Hiking pole only crits for 1.5x, so I think I'm just going to ban the turret and the insanity. No need to build crit chance on this character. Our base damage will be high enough. So yeah, I lost 12 range by, or I will lose 12 range by buying those beanies, but the 4% extra movement speed just makes it faster and faster for us to gain range from the hiking pole, so it's going to offset the range loss there. And I am going to be clearing all these curse aliens. We want to build as much curse as we can because that will give us potentially a cursed hiking pole, which would be a huge amount of additional range, but any powerful cursed item is good for us. When it shows up for free in a box, I'll take the jelly here. Metal detector we'll take as well, and then 9 more movement speed. That's perfect. And I guess we're taking the 45 range upgrade, so we've just doubled our range, which is great. We'll buy the beanie and the plant. I don't care about knockback, so let's just ban boxing gloves just to use our bans quickly. And then this is great. We can buy a hiking pole and a tree and roll. Cute monkey I definitely want. I don't think we care about sharp bullet or hedgehog, so let's roll past those. And we'll buy a helmet as well. It does cost me movement speed, but offsetting our armor penalty is going to be very important. And I'm not going to reroll for 11. That's really expensive. So even though we have guaranteed weapons in the shop, I'm going to avoid spending my money on spending 11 materials on rerolling there. Now you can see I have a couple level 2 hiking poles, so we're getting additional range even faster. We also can never stop moving, because we'll start losing range really quickly. Yeah, we'll take another helmet, and do I want this charcoal? Melee damage is not that important for this character. We have good base damage on our weapons already, and it only scales with 50% of our melee damage on hiking pole. But I think it's still worth taking at the cost of 2 harvesting. Alright, so here is where we have to take 15 range upgrade, and then I'm going to take more attack speed. So important to get additional attack speed, so very happy to see that upgrade. We're going to roll here, and we'll keep taking beanies. I'm going to take a blood leech as well. I want as much regeneration as I can get, and then we got a glasses to increase our range even further. And I'll do one more reroll. I think for 10 it's actually okay. I'm looking for additional hiking poles if possible. Take a defective steroids as well. It does cost me attack speed, which is pretty bad, but my max HP is quite low, and the melee damage, not super powerful, but not completely useless either. So that 15% attack speed that I got earlier is really going off here. One thing that I guess is worth thinking about too is that because of the rules of this run, luck is a little worse than normal, because if I see a level 1 range upgrade alongside a bunch of higher level ups, I still have to take the range upgrade. So having higher levels appear is less valuable than it is for most characters. I'll take 4 regen here. We'll buy these items and then roll. Take a hiking pole, of course, and a duct tape. Do I want another defective steroids? I've bought 2. My max HP is in much better shape. I think I'm just going to roll past that. And then we will lock another hiking pole. I mean, I guess I'm going to keep buying these beanies. It does continuously cost me range to buy them, but the extra move speed is so good for offsetting that. I don't need the feather. We're not building dodge. Missile. I do have really low percent damage, but I think there are better ways to boost my percent damage, so I'm going to avoid the missile as well. All right, so our damage is keeping up, but as the Speedy, we move really fast and can't ever stop moving, which makes elites really hard because it can be difficult to dodge without remaining motionless against certain elites. And so we need enough damage or enough survivability that even though we're going to take more hits than most characters would in elite waves, because our movement speed is so high it can be hard to dodge, and we can't stop moving or we lose 100 armor. Even though we're going to take those extra hits due to the nature of the character, we need to be able to survive the elite waves. So I need to make sure that I either have the damage to kill them really, really fast, or we have the ability to survive. Snowball, I'm just going to recycle. We don't have a use for elemental damage here, and I'm going to reroll, and, well, I would love this attack speed, but 45 range it is. And then I'm going to take 10 luck. Luck, like I said, is a little worse for this character, but getting positive luck is still pretty important. We'll buy the hiking pole. I will lose some regen to buy fruit basket. I currently have 1 consumable heal, and I'm going to take the alien tongue as well. Oh, nice. Crown when we're a support weapon build. That's awesome. Pickup radius is actually pretty good for the Speedy, pretty important for the Speedy, because it can be really easy to leave materials behind as you run past enemies, or leave consumables that you want to heal with behind as you run past enemies. So having additional pickup radius makes consumable healing, which can be a problem for this character since you go so fast that you've moved away from where the fruit spawns by the time it's actually spawned. Pickup radius can stop that from happening. Run over here and kill that tree. Trying to clear the hatchers, but our damage is high enough that I don't need to worry too much about killing them like before any of the slashers spawn or before they make eggs or anything like that. Also, the fact that I have a cute monkey is doing really well for us. That is a lot of additional healing. Where was this crown when I was doing the entrepreneur farmer run? I'll take the piggy bank. We will get some value out of it, and I think I'm going to reroll here, and I think I'll just take an armor. My armor's really low, so I do need to fix that. We'll buy the crown and the cake. Pile of books, we don't really have a use for. Head injury, I'm not going to buy because it reduces my range, and unlike the beanie, it doesn't offset itself. So even though my percent damage is really low, for the spirit of the challenge, we're going to avoid buying head injury. Gonna roll here again. I keep having to read all the items over again because I'm just not sure which items have random points of range attached to them. Because a bunch of items do. And usually that's a part of the item that you just don't need to read. But when you have to buy them, if they have that, then it's important to know. So getting a pretty early crown in the first half of the waves is really nice. We've got a decent amount of curse, which is really good as well. The main thing that I need currently is attack speed. So we'd be pretty happy with that. I also need more armor and regeneration, because my healing is pretty poor at the moment. Ran through a bunch of enemies there. We made okay money, but not amazing money. We'll take the mirror here, and then let's pick up more movement speed, I guess. Just keep boosting my range. Actually, I should roll and... Well, I guess we're taking 45 range. Okay, perfect. We got 20 attack speed there. We'll take the recycling machine. Do I want to double the lost duck with the mirror? I think that's fine, honestly. We could roll for something better, but that's going to be plenty. I'll take the bag here, and Ugly Tooth. This is a way that we could fight elites better. It does cost me some move speed, but Ugly Tooth is pretty nice against elites. It just makes it harder for them to hit you. I'll take the glasses and the hiking pole here, because we have to buy the range, and the hiking pole will, again, give me some economy by boosting my range even further. But obviously the fairy is an amazing find. We have no way to set enemies on fire, so we're gonna pass on the fried rice. Even though it costs me 8 range, Scar is still too good not to buy, so we will buy that, and we'll get that again, just like the beanie, will end up giving me more range in the long run, because we'll just get more levels, and some of those level ups will be range upgrades. Or speed upgrades, or armor so we don't die, etc. Alright, our weapons are attacking for 69 damage. Oh no, we've gone up to 70, we gained too much range. Alas. So I would like actually a little more move speed just to trigger these hiking poles a little more frequently. Yeah, we'll take the bait. I think that's fine. Yes, we're going into an elite wave, but that's okay. We'll take the banner here, and then, yeah, I'll take 6 more move speed. I will then be able to buy all of these healing items and the economy boost from the treasure map. We definitely want the Lost Duck. I want the move speed from the compass, and I'll roll here. And, yeah, Peaceful Bee is fine when it also gives a regen, and Clockwork Wasp will take for 5 more move speed. Alright, let's see how we do against this elite. Now, the nice thing is, we've actually built enough range that we can meaningfully attack the elite from far away. The unfortunate thing is that this is one of the elites that you really have to stop moving against in order to avoid taking damage from it. And if we do that, then when it does hit us, it's going to do massive damage. I think we'll still be able to get it here. I'm going to back off and heal back up. Because I have Fairy and pretty good consumable healing and everything, you know, just kind of spiral around it. Got 20 seconds left, so that should be enough time to take it out, and then we get our full heal. All right, great. So I would say a pretty clean elite fight, honestly. I took a little damage at the start there, but as the Speedy, that's always going to happen. And we were able to get it without losing too much in the way of economy or range boosts or anything like that. Take a black belt here, and do I want a celery tea? I don't think so. Our damage is not high enough to kill those enemies. So I have 35 regen, which would go down to 32 because the fairy will lose 3 regen from the hourglass. This is a pretty dangerous elite to fight again, but I think we're going to do it. And then, yeah, there's no range upgrade. We'll take the move speed here. I will take 9 max HP. And then we're going to buy all of these. So I need to run away from the elite at the start. Actually, I wouldn't normally buy the tardigrade, but because I bought Hourglass, so we're starting this next wave at 1 HP, buying the tardigrade I think will give us enough safety for our regen to kick in. And can I buy both of these? That's 129. So yeah, we should be able to buy both of them. And then Strange Book, I'm going to buy just for 5 Curse. Curse is still pretty good for this character, and 166 for 5 Curse is actually fine. So having the tardigrade here let us play a little safer. And, you know, I've got this bait as well. I wasn't worried about that because we're so fast, but... Alright, so I lost the tardigrade now, but now we're back to full health, so I should be able to just circle around the elite and try to kill it here. I don't need to be this close to the elite to deal damage to it, because our range is really high, obviously, but I need to make sure that my weapon attacks are actually targeting it, and they'll often go in the other direction. I could use manual targeting, but trying to maintain the manual targeting while also moving fast is probably going to make it harder for me to dodge. And we don't need to use manual targeting to have enough damage to kill the elite, so I was happy to just stay nearer to it than we needed to be given the range of our weapons. You can see now that our hiking poles are starting to actually have meaningfully long range. It's starting to be a lot more noticeable. We'll take the injection here. I don't need the cog. Kraken's Eye is great. I do lose 3 more regen, but 10 HP matters a lot. I need some armor, so I'm going to take 3 armor here, and then we'll buy Strange Book. Tentacle, I have negative crit chance, so there's no point in that. We'll take the Jerky, though. Here, I'm going to buy these items, but not the Snail. We don't need to reduce enemy move speed. Enemy move speed is just not something that we interact with, really, in this run, because enemies are basically standing still relative to us, so it's all about whether I can stop myself before I run into them, rather than, like, trying to outpace them. If I had a little more attack speed, then the extra range here would be really powerful, because we'd be able to hit these enemies across the map a lot more frequently. As is, our weapons are just on cooldown most of the time, so we're not getting as much value from our extra range as we would otherwise. But if I find a little more attack speed, then we will start to. Yeah, I'll take the bat. It's 1 regen. The 2 lifesteal is okay. Let's reroll here. There's no range upgrade, so I'll take 15 luck. Bone dice. I do need more percent damage, so I am going to take that. Lens is worth a regen, but at the cost of -5 range, we're definitely not doing that. And then we'll roll here. We'll take coffee and propeller hat and roll again. Level up our hiking poles, and I think I actually just want to lock all of these items. Maybe I should have taken the clover first for the extra luck, but more hiking pole levels, I think, is going to be the way to go, again, just to maximize our range. Horde waves are actually going to be pretty tough for this character, because it's hard for us not to run into enemies when there's a lot of them on the field, and while our weapons are good at killing lots of things because they pierce through everything, thanks to the high range, they're not good at hitting stuff that's near us because our attack speed is really low. The Jerky is doing a lot of work here. You can see that it's constantly regenerating us, and it combos with the regen that we have from Fairy, so we're just gaining enormous amounts of HP all the time. And then we're up to 700 here. Yeah, I'll take a fertilizer. We'll take the Hedgehog. Mostly, it's effectively free, because we lose a regen thanks to Hedgehog, but then gain 1 back thanks to Fairy. We'll take the coupon. I could start building dodge, so let's take the Peaceful Bee here, and then I'm going to reroll, and that's a range upgrade, and then here, 20% attack speed is massive, so I'm going to take that for sure. We'll buy all these, but not the lens, and then we'll roll again, and Sad Tomato is pretty good for us. I can take the gambling token. I think we will end up building some dodge, and I'll take another Broken Mouth, and I'll roll again here. I'll take a bag. Saltwater is not bad, and Book, when it gives us a regen for, like, 1 regeneration for 31 is a totally reasonable deal, even though we're not really using the engineering. I also have not built any non-weapon sources of damage. I guess I have the Kraken's Eye, but we're very unlikely to kill these pufferfish with a ranged source of damage, so we don't have to worry about pufferfish explosions. Those are often one of the most dangerous things for the Speedy on the Abyss map, because pufferfish explosions can be really hard to dodge if you're using a ranged weapon with this character. So for, like, a shuriken build with the Speedy, for example, it can be really difficult. up to 500 materials. Oh, nice. 10 more movement speed we'll definitely take. For 30, I don't need the HP. Let's just recycle that. And then I need damage here, so I'm going to take 12% damage. And then we'll buy out this whole shop. We'll reroll. We'll take a lure. We'll reroll. And boiling water, -1 HP. I don't need. Let's roll again. 3 regen. We have +4 consumable heal. I think the alien worm is fine. This doesn't have range on it. Vigilante ring, I would buy on wave 17. So it would... I would buy going into wave 17. So it would take 17, 18, 19 for 9% damage for 232 materials. My percent damage is pretty bad, but I still think that's too inefficient. I would have loved to get a cursed hiking pole earlier. That would have been really nice. We did buy a bunch of curse in this run, and haven't gotten that many cursed items. But honestly, this run is really fun. I was kind of expecting it to be more difficult just because going this fast on the Speedy is always a little dangerous, but we were able to get enough defensive stats early that this has been a pretty straightforward run. Did have some fun hourglass moments, though. And we managed to pick up a bunch of curse here, so that's really good, as well as 5 crates. Curse tree, very happy with that. We'll take a terrified onion, another tree. I'll take a helmet as well, and banner we'll take. When you have 1 tardigrade, more tardigrades starts getting better, because they will help you avoid taking damage. Then we gotta take a 60 range upgrade here. Okay, here's our cursed hiking pole, so let's go ahead and combine. We'll buy a cursed one, we'll buy coffee and metal. Roll. Barnacle, we should still get a decent number of levels, so the barnacle will be fine. And then we can upgrade our hiking pole, that's great. And I'll roll again here, buy a helmet. I do not want to cap... Oh, wait. Shackles does have range on it. So technically I have to buy it, right? Capping my move speed at 92 I don't think is going to meaningfully affect our hiking poles. We wouldn't end up with that much more move speed. Or 95, because we'll buy the metal first. This one I'm torn on, whether... it's more in the spirit of the challenge to maximize my hiking poles or to always buy range. I guess I said I would buy every plus range upgrade I saw, so we'll buy the shackles here. Only because my move speed is already really high and I don't think it'll make that much of a difference. And 80 range is a lot. So I think we would have gotten less than 80 range from whatever move speed we found over 95 for the last few waves. So I think we'll end up with more total range from buying the shackles than we would from not buying the shackles and hoping we got enough speed to make up, you know, to get 80 extra range, which is just so much. We're getting something like 30 or so every wave from our hiking poles at this point, so we would need to find, I don't know, like 100 move speed to make up the difference, I think. We'll take the Shady Potion. Okay, well, we get 5% more move speed before capping. Let's re-roll here, and you know what? We'll take 12% more move speed, then when we cap it, it'll be even less impactful. And then we buy the metal, and then we buy shackles. Cursed Gummy Berserker. Normally not a good item, but we have to buy all the range. And we'll take a schmoop, and we'll roll here. And I can still build some dodge. We'll take a Terrified Onion. No, wait, or we capped our range, obviously. We'll lock this, and we'll buy the hiking pole here. So I've given up 4 potential speed so far with the shackles, which increasing our speed by 4 for the last for just wave 19 is probably going to be less than 1 point of additional range that we would have gotten. All right, so now you can see our weapons are starting to really hit the whole map because we have plus 1,000 range or so. By the way, this is also a pretty reasonable way to go into an endless run. It's not as powerful as the normal Druid Spicy Sauce Infinite Endless stuff, but one direction that you can go in endless runs is huge amount of range from hiking poles, and then use one of the weapons that scales with ranged damage, in particular the sniper rifle later on. We'll obviously recycle the Estes couch here. We'll take the cauldron and blindfold. I think I'm going to pass on because minus 15 range. We'll pass on the tentacle as well. And then let's roll here. Got to take 60 range, so that's what we're grabbing. Sadly, the fish hook doesn't do anything for us at this point, but we'll take the Cursed Adrenaline and the Peaceful Bee. And we'll roll here and... I'll buy a Scared Sausage just for the 1 regen. Combine, buy a hiking pole. Don't need a broken mouth, we've got 100 HP. Don't really need any of these. Let's roll again. A cursed bag, so it costs 57. So if we drop 2 crates, we get our materials back. Let's give this a go. So we're gonna buy that, and I'm just gonna see if it pays for itself. Baby Gecko has range, Spyglass has range, Plant, of course, is worth some additional regen, and then we'll upgrade our hiking pole, and I'm not going to reroll for 47 there. I want to stop moving so I can see... you know, how far our weapons attack more easily, but if we stop moving, then we get less range, so... it's really, a rough situation to be in. One thing that's kind of funny about this is just because of the way that our weapons are attacking and the nature of circles. Enemies in the middle of the map are living more easily because they're less likely to be in the path of our really long-ranged attacks than the enemies that are along the outside and are being attacked in the linear direction from our character. Kind of a neat demonstration of the principles of angles. I'll take the pearl here, and then... I will roll, and we'll take 20 attack speed. Well, I gotta take 20 range, sadly. I would have liked the regen, but more range, of course. And then we will take a hiking pole and a hiking pole. Gonna re-roll here. Do I want the sniper gun going into the last wave? Does 386 damage compared to 320 from these? I think that's fun. To add in the sniper gun, and of course we'll buy lantern, which gives us 50 more range, and then we're going to go into wave 20 here. So 900 damage a swing from our cursed hiking pole, 450 from our non-cursed, and 428 with each projectile doing 186 from our level 3 sniper gun. So let's go to wave 20, and I do need to be careful about the bosses a little bit, because again, we can still die at this point in the run. My armor's pretty low, given where we're at. And there we go. We were able to win, and you know what? Turns out range is overpowered when your weapon scales off of it. That run actually was surprisingly easy. Obviously, it took some movement skill because the move speed is pretty fast. But we did do just amazing damage with our hiking poles because we were able to scale our weapons pretty effectively. We ended with more than 1,000 range on wave 20, which is great. Taking a look at our items here, we had the 5 beanies, which was pretty nice early. 240 materials from the metal detector. Oh, I forgot to check the cursed bag. I forgot whether we got boxes on wave 19 or not. But we did get 830 materials from our bags, 150 healing from our cute monkeys, 40 extra fruits from the fruit basket. Piggy bank gave me 37 materials for the 20 that we spent on it. So it wasn't great. That's pretty poor return on investment given that that was over the entire run. But it did pull piggy bank out of the pool. Crown for 140 harvesting, recycling machine for 263, and 4 items from treasure map. 200 materials saved with coupon. Oh yeah, and our bone dice actually did pretty well. We got our 20 for 3 on bone dice, and normally you expect 20 for 4 because 5 to 1 is the normal ratio. And there we go. So that was just a pretty fun run. Honestly, I recommend it, even without the always buy range rule. Because hiking pole just scales its damage so quickly if you're moving really fast like the Speedy does. As always, my friends, if you've enjoyed the run, feel free to leave a comment and hit like. Helps me out with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, folks. I'll catch you next time.